Hello and welcome to another episode of Kool KordZ. Today I'd like to tackle the subject of practicing scales, and I'd like to add that there's many different ways to practice scales. Today we're going to look at it from a historical perspective. Took this idea from the book The Pianist's Guide to Historical Improvisation, and it is a wonderful book with many great ideas. I'm going to show you them now. Tackling the thirds and sixths, what was so sought after in the counterpoint Baroque era and pre-Baroque era as well, from guys like Joseph Fuchs and Johann Sebastian Bach. Anyway,
Ever wondered how a Baroque improviser would do just that, improvise? Of course there was composition back then, but there was also many performers who were able to improvise on the spot. In some ways, what musicians do today. But I'd like to, in my own playing, add a little, if not a lot, of this historical style. You can find it in The Pianist's Guide to Historical Improvisation, John Martinson. A wonderful book. One of the pages talks about this progression where you go one in minor, we think in C first, and then relative minor with the raised seventh, natural raised seventh, sometimes raised sixth at the very end as well. So the progression kind of goes, you've all heard this progression, I think. Minor there, not the raised seventh just yet. And that can be like 2/5 into 1. One thing I find very special is that they try and, the Baroque improvisers, go 3, and instead of thinking about this 5, which kind of deadens us a fraction, makes us sort of a little bit bogged down, they always do the 6th. There's this 6/3 thing going on all the time. So we're going to link the 3 and the 6. Sometimes depends on which accidental you want. And you can do something in the left hand as well. You can do this bass line. You can go to the 4, which you guessed it is the 3rd of the 6th. So if I'm going, and then there's thirds of the thirds of the thirds of the thirds, and that's how it sort of expands. The 3rd of the 6th, the 3rd of the 3rd. Amazing. Of course, the 6th is kind of the same as the 3rd if you want to think of it like that. We have the 3, we have the 6. But that can also be considered the 6th. That can also be considered the 6th or the 3, depending on which kind of way you go. And that's one of the great things about Mahler's Adagietto in the 5th Symphony. There's this ambiguous kind of thing going on for a while where you're not quite sure if it's in C or whether in there. We're in A minor, but actually what turns out is there's this hidden kind of F that's not being played that eventually we're in F. So just thinking about that, we can then go, so we go, Of course, we want to try and explore some different keys as well. we're in E minor, then we're in G major. So let's go to E minor, look for our, the only difference with the other one, we have to add the F sharp and the sharp 7 as well. So we're trying to do all keys. One other thing, you can try all different schemes as well, like this kind of thing. So we can kind of go. So we're going to continue doing that over the next few months and see where it takes us and try and get to the ultimate goal of improvising a fugue. So, hope you've enjoyed Kool KordZ, and we'll see you next time.